All right, so Edmonton to Goose Lake, 2 hours and 1 minute at flight level 310. We might get some light turbulence on descent. Maybe a little bit during the climb because we're going to cross the jet stream and some icing conditions. 54 passengers. Flight deck access, we're in Combi this morning. So Combi flights means you don't necessarily have quick access to the flight deck. We're gonna have the GNet. So we're gonna make sure before each flight, me and Michael, that the GNet is secured.
Edmonton Information Oscar. Weather at 1200 Zulu. Wind 070. At 10. Gusting 16. Visibility 15 miles. Light snow. Ceiling 500 overcast. Temperature -5. Dew point -6. Altimeter 2945. Approach RNAV Zulu or Yankee or ILS runways 02 and 12.
Edmonton clearance, good morning. It's Nolinor 514, apron 2 with information Oscar requesting IFR clearance to Goose Lake.
Nolinor 514, I'm clearance to Goose Lake. Gabit 1 departure, flight plan route. Start runway 02, squawk 7, correction, squawk 7332.
Hi, my name is Patrice. I'll be the captain on this Nolinor 514 flight to Goose Lake. Flight time today will be 2 hours and 1 minute. We'll be cruising at 31,000 feet out of Edmonton. And this is my first officer.
Michael, nice to meet you.
All right, so we'll brief the departure. So we'll be starting for apron 2 in Edmonton. And we'll taxi via Sierra Bravo Alpha short of runway 02. The transitional altitude is 18,000 feet, RNAV 1 GNSS. And safe altitude within 100 miles is 9,200. And refer to 20-4 noise abatement procedure for additional requirement, which we're going to look after.
So now I'll be preparing, what we do before every takeoff is we prepare what we call a speed card. This is going to give us all our information for our departure, calculated with our OPT program on our iPads. So now we've calculated our takeoffs with our current takeoff weight. It's going to give us a flaps 1 with a V1 of 151, VR 156, and a V2 of 161. We've calculated with the current temperature, obviously our maximum takeoff EPR that we'll be able to use today. And OPT also will give us a reduced assumed temperature. So right now it's calculated a takeoff at a temperature of 33 degrees, which is going to reduce our takeoff EPR, which is part of our engine saving programs in order to have a bit more life on these engines. Good morning from the flight deck. First officer speaking. We'd like to welcome aboard this flight to Nolinor 514, destination to Goose Lake. We just completed our final checks up here up front. We're all set. We'll be ready to start the engines in approximately 5 to 10 minutes once the main cabin door is closed. A short taxi this morning to runway 02. Flight plan is showing 2 hours and 1 minute en route at a cruising altitude of 31,000 feet. We're expecting mostly a smooth ride. The current temperature in Goose Lake is a -27 degrees. On behalf of the entire Nolinor crew, we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the onboard service. Clear, right.
Check. Start engine number 2.
Starting engine number 2. Starter engage. Star valve open.
Check. And 2.
Oil pressure rising.
And 1. 20%. Fuel flow. Light up.
Starter cut out. Star valve closed. Gravel protect. 4 taxi checklist. Generator.
On.
Pitot heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Enter anti-ice on.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Bleeds and pressurization panel.
Set.
Engine start switches.
Set.
Recall.
Check.
Auto brake.
Off.
Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Check.
Ground equipment.
It's clear left.
And clear right before taxi check is complete.
Check.
Edmonton ground, good morning. It's Nolinor 514, apron 2, requesting taxi.
Nolinor 514, Edmonton ground, runway 02, wind 070 at 9, altimeter 2945, taxi Bravo Alpha. Contact tower 1183, holding short.
Check.
Ready?
Ready.
All right, before takeoff, checklist flaps.
We got the one green line.
Stabilizer trim.
It's 4.75 units.
Port takeoff check is complete. Cabin is secure.
The ground morning, Porter 402.
Edmonton Tower, good morning. It's Nolinor 514 approaching Alpha, holding short runway 02, ready for departure.
Nolinor 514, Edmonton Tower, contact departure 133.65 airborne, wind 070 at 10, clear takeoff runway 02.
133.65 airborne, we're clear for takeoff runway 02, Nolinor 514, talk to you later. Okay, weather radar.
Foxtrot 517 Tower, exit Alpha
right.
1 and contact ground 121.7 off.
Weather radar, TCAS.
Alpha 1, what's
No strobes.
571.
Runway 02 is identified. 020. Good with that?
Yep.
All right. We're on the roll.
Ready?
Ready.
Roger.
Engine stable.
All right, set takeoff thrust.
Takeoff thrust set.
Check.
$80 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. Gear up, no light.
Check. All right, set climb thrust.
Okay, just a little bit. Climb thrust is set.
And speed 210.
Speed 210. Edmonton departures, good morning. It's Nolinor 514 off runway 02, 4,000 feet to climb for 6,000.
Nolinor 514, Edmonton departure identified. Clear direct Avalon course, climb flight 210.
Climb flight level 210, clear direct Avalon course, Nolinor 514.
Roger.
Flaps.
Flaps up.
Flaps up. 210.
Check.
Third takeoff checklist, engine bleeds on, packs on, landing gear is up and off, flaps up, no light. After takeoff checklist complete.
Check. Speed 250.
Speed 250. Okay, 0 degrees. 201, okay?
Check 201. And
Edmonton, good morning, FedEx 5161 Heavy, flight level 350.
altitude world, FMS.
FedEx 5161 Heavy,
Next
Edmonton Center, good day.
course 360.
Morning, Edmonton, Arctic 170650, we're on the climb.
60.
Arctic 1706, Edmonton Center, good day, climb flight level 350. 350, Arctic 1706, thanks.
Michael just did a fuel check as we're crossing the waypoints. We're going in the Arctic where there's no fuel, so we got to make sure that we have enough fuel after for our next flight to go back to Yellowknife. So every time we're going to cross waypoints or every hours, we're going to do a fuel check and make sure that we're good to come back. Because otherwise we're going to have to use barrels of fuel and pump it inside the airplane, which is going to take a long time. And you know, in the Arctic, it might start snowing out of nowhere, and the plane can get contaminated. So at this particular airport, there's no de-icing, so we got to be careful with that. Yeah, anything to add on that?
No, I just think that most of the time in the Arctic, we have to, the reason why we're so strict on fuel is there's not a lot of airports around us. So if we don't have the fuel required for
that's
landing
true too.
and in another approach, well, it's direct to our alternate. Most of the time, we're very, very, very limited on fuel because we want to take the maximum payload that we can and bring the goods to the mines. So in that
Or
case,
you're limited because the runway
runway
is too short.
conditions. Yeah, exactly. Runway conditions, the shortness of the runway. Right now, we're still in an area where there is some airports around us. We have Fort McMurray coming up and things like that. But once we get further up north, past the 6 parallel, past Yellowknife, about 500 kilometers north, there's very limited airports. So the decision making is very, very important when it comes to fuel-wise, because the weather can change in an instant.
We departed from Edmonton on the Gabet 1 departure, which was pretty much just runway, center line. Then we follow a track following the runway up to 6,000 feet. Usually the controller pretty quick. As soon as they got us on the radar, they're gonna give us a direct to our first waypoint on the route. So on this one, it was direct to Davil. So then we're gonna go Lexon, and from 60 North, this is where we're gonna switch to true. So we're gonna pass from magnetic to true, because in the north, the magnetic north is changing so quick that we use the true north up north. So as you can see, if we go to Goose Lake, we're going to be doing the RNAV 32 true approach. So when we're going to be at 60 North, we're going to switch. So at this point, we're just going to press on this switch, going to adjust or HSI to the true north. Then we're going to be able to do the approach following everything that is on the plate here. Goose Lake is it's a gold mine. So basically right now we're bringing workers up to the mine, but we also have a cargo plane based in Yellowknife, which brings cargo. They haven't started the extracting gold yet. The mine's been in progress since
2013, and I believe their first pour will be this year.
Yeah.
2025.
So yeah, right now we're just bringing passengers, cargo, so they can get started up, and then so it's a pretty nice flight. 2 hours to get there.
I think Nolinor has been doing this one since about 2013, and we've just recently started transporting their passengers as the mine is now getting in its exploring phases. Before it was basically we would bring cargo in, any important needs for construction, anything like that. That's what we would do. But nowadays we're starting to transport the passengers through Edmonton. So this flight is actually pretty cool for us. Nice 3 short legs. Sometimes we even do it direct. So it's a different routing for us. It's cool. And as you can see today, we are in combi position. Combi combination. So we're bringing passengers and cargo. So whatever the mine needs, we can bring it. We've seen it all. All right, so something that's kind of particular about this specific 737-200 is that we have only 2 audio panels. And so basically controlling one frequency for the both of us, and we're always monitoring 21.5, which is a standard procedure in all of aviation. We also do have a nav communication, which is going to give us our VOR. But what's particular is that if we do happen to lose a frequency, it's going to be hard to get it back. So it's important here that I'm writing down every single frequency. Whenever we have a frequency change, I will write it down. And that way I know that if I do forget it or we lost a frequency, I can revert to another one. In any modern aircraft, you're going to have 2 frequencies per panel. So that way you're always going to keep one on backup. For your previous frequency is going to be on backup, and your current one is going to be current. So that's a little aspect of this one that we always have to watch out and pay very careful attention, because out here in the north there's not many, obviously you can hear, it's quiet on the frequency, so we're always paying attention to that.
All right, so one of the main reasons why we're still operating the Boeing 737-200 is because up in the Arctic there's a lot of demand for high payload aircraft with a jet, and the problem is that most of the runways are in gravel, so there's not many airplanes that are certified to land on gravel, so there's not really any replacement right now. So that's why we still use the 200. It's a very reliable plane. They're old, but they still fly very well. And yeah, basically right now we have a lot of parts. We have a lot of aircraft that we bought that we're using parts from them. So the airplane is still, we're still planning to use them for another 15 years on the long run. Then we're gonna switch towards, we're gonna get the Kona soon, which is a new aircraft, smaller aircraft, and we're looking at other options. But for the time being, there's not any replacement for the 200s that can do what we do. We need an aircraft that can land on short runways.
No problem.
And like I said, that is able to land on the gravel. So it's the challenge that airplanes like the 737NG or the Airbuses right now with the CFM56. Yeah, there's no gravel kit able to prevent the gravel from being sucked in the engine. So that's why it's still very reliable. It still flies very well. Older the better.
All right, so winds, whoa, nice. 300 at 5 knots, 10 miles of vis, scattered at 1500.
Check.
Minus 26, still working on our runway. And Yellowknife is looking good as an alternate. Broken at 5,000 feet, and winds are good visibility.
Check.
All right, so there's two main important aspects of the 737-200 that allow us to land on the gravel, and Patrice just talked about it, but it's our gravel protect. This is a no-go item to land on gravel if it's not functioning. It basically, once we do the walk around later, I'll show you, but there's vortex dissipators that will take bleed air, that will shoot air towards the ground and avoid gravel being ingested into the engines. That's one of them. Another key aspect or component of this aircraft is the reversers. We have what we call clam type or bucket type reversers, which is going to take 100% of the airflow and push it forward. So they're very powerful once you're on the ground. We have a restriction of a maximum of 1.8 EPR once we reach the ground, and that really helps us once we get on those short runways, those short gravel runways with more or less mediocre conditions. That's what allows us to decel.
Get fuel.
Decel very quickly. We also have a ski that I'll show on the walk around, which is avoids gravel being shot up against the fuselage. But the main component is our gravel protect. That is a no-go for gravel.
Goose Lake Unicom, good morning. It's Nolinor 514.
Good morning, Nolinor 514, Goose Lake.
Goose Lake Unicom, Nolinor 514 is a Boeing 737 inbound from Edmonton. We're flight level 310, showing approximately 115 nautical miles to the south of position Tavern, looking for your latest weather advisory.
Copy that, Nolinor 514, latest weather winds 290 at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles, scattered clouds at 1,500 feet, temperature minus 26, dew point minus 29, altimeter setting 2974.
Decimal 45, it's copied for Nolinor 514. We're inbound preparing for the INAV approach, runway 32 true. We're expected to begin the approach at 1500 and wheels down 1505.
Understood, on the ground at 1505. We do have an equipment still on the strip here, but it'll be clear before you guys land.
Okay, we'll talk to you on the handoff for Nolinor 514.
Descent checklist.
All right, descent checklist. Pressurization.
Cabin altitude, landing altitude 980, cabin altitude 780.
Gravel protect.
It's on.
Recall.
Check.
Auto brake.
Medium.
Landing data.
VRF is 129, minimum 1242.
Approach briefing.
Completed.
Send checklist complete. Message.
Check. It's going to be top of the descent alert.
Another thing to mention here, we're going to be passing through flight level 230. Right now it's the northern control area. So anything below this, it's basically class G airspace, and we can maneuver as we wish. And then from there we'll switch over to 126.7 and we're on our own. We're making our own calls, distance from the airport, when we begin the approach and how far back we are. Back to the old school flying.
Basically uncontrolled. Yeah.
Uncontrolled airspace. So now we're coming through flight level 230. We're in uncontrolled airspace now. 26.7. We're making our own radio calls, speaking to Unicoms. That's how it is here.
If there's a traffic taken off, we got to deal with them. ATC is not going to be responsible of it, so that's something we got to watch. There's a lot of cargo flights or passenger flights going to the mines, so got to be careful for that.
Goose Lake Unicom, it's Nolinor 514.
Nolinor 514, go ahead.
Nolinor 514 is descending through 17,600 feet. We're showing 43 nautical miles to the south of position Tevon for the RNAV approach. 32 true. Tevon now 1457, wheels down 1501.
Copy all 1501, wheels down.
Confirm no traffic on the runway.
Negative, still have equipment on the runway here, but should be departing within the next 2 to 3 minutes before you guys are on final.
Okay, appreciate it. Nolinor 515 will report final.
Okay, bleeds are configured.
Check. Last adjustment before the approach.
Yes.
025.
25, I got it.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Speed 170.
170. Final approach course.
Check 320.
320. Okay, approach is active.
Check auto approach. Lock capture.
220 is set.
Check. Climbing to capture.
Goose Lake Unicom, Nolinor 514 is established final, 32 true.
Check speed.
Nolinor 514, roger. Wind check 290 at 7 knots. Altimeter saying 274.
Set the heading.
Thank you. Set flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Yeah.
RA alive.
Check. Autopilot disengage.
It's confirmed.
Speed 150.
160.
160.
There you go.
Check.
Passing care of 2,859.
Check and gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 15.
Flaps 15.
Speed 150.
150.
Flaps 25.
Flaps 25.
Speed 140.
140.
Flaps 40.
Flaps 40.
Speed 134.
134.
And landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Bleeds.
Configured.
Engine start switches.
Left ignition.
Speed brake.
Our arm
Landing gear.
down.
Flaps.
40 green lights.
Landing checklist complete.
Check.
1,000 feet.
Check.
Goose Lake Intercom, Nolinor 514, 3 mile final.
Nolinor 514, roger.
Threshold.
Stable, continue.
Speed brake up. Reverser normal. $80 knots. 60 knots.
All right, good job.
Good job. Welcome to Goose Lake. Goose Lake Intercom, Nolinor 514 is backtracking, running 32 true for the ramp.
Nolinor 514, roger.
Conditions. much better than that.
Takeoff Nolinor 514 down and clear.
Welcome to Goose Lake, guys. I hope you enjoyed the approach. We'll be here about an hour on the ground, unload the cargo. Passengers will deplane, and then we'll get another set of passengers, load some cargo, and then we'll be on our way to Yellowknife for a fuel stop.